Welcome back, everyone, to Radio Row for Front Office Sports' continuing coverage of Super Bowl 60. I'm Baker Machado, and we're joined by two-time Super Bowl champion Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm, good to see you, man. How you
I'm
doing?
doing well. Good to see you as well.
So we got to talk about a bunch of things. First off, the Jim Thorpe Award. Caleb
Caleb
Downs,
Downs.
obviously big news for you because
Yeah.
it's your alma mater. But I hear you had a special sort of part in all of this as well, in terms of the design aspects and all of this.
Yeah. So, what was it? Maybe 2 years ago, I decided to design a jacket. I was like, I look back at my photos when I won the Thorpe and I had this really ugly
You're like, I'm not
gray
going to make
tux.
somebody do that again.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we got to change this. We got to elevate this. So I created a blazer, a jacket similar to like a Hall of Fame style coat that's inspired by Jim Thorpe and his tribe. And so I gift that to the award winner every year. And we also designed one for the Aeneas Williams Award as well, which is given to the best defensive back at HBCU. And so, I'm looking forward to giving Caleb his jacket this year.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then it's not just like the design aspects. Art also is something that you're incredibly passionate about now as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think last year you and I talked about it as well in New Orleans. Was the first time I had been spending a bunch of time with artists. I'm traveling the world, going to shows, going to studios, and artists have really embraced me into their world. So I wanted to return the favor and bring them into the chaos that is the NFL. And it was such an amazing event last year that we're doing it again here in San Francisco. We have artists, Alteron's Gumby, Derek Adams, and Journey Merriweather coming in town. They've given us works to raise money for my foundation, the Malcolm Jenkins Foundation, but also to just meet collectors, to pair them with athletes and get to mix and mingle. And because I think that athletes and artists are very, very similar in certain ways, especially when it comes to high performance, playing forever and having to constantly reinvent yourself. And then also there's the aspects of business, investment, legacy. There's so much I think that are in that intersection that I want to continue to bring guys in to what I'm learning and kind of bring those artists into this world as a new space.
I love that, especially for so many people who probably thought that community was not for them or didn't know how to sort of get involved in it or how to open doors for people to be able to see and witness that and be able to partake in that. I think is amazing.
Yeah, everything seems so like distant and hard to get to, but really there's so much power in just us being in conversation that I look forward to creating rooms that force that.
We got to talk also about this 30 for 30 special that's coming out here in the next couple of days. The Philly special, which you were a part of as well.
Yeah.
What was it sort of feeling of reminiscing of all these sort of great memories and moments over the course of your career, especially in Philly?
Yeah.
The special.
I mean, when you talk about the Super Bowl, especially that Eagles Super Bowl, that is the play, that you can go to and say that was a difference that got us that win. And going into that week, we knew we were going to call it. There was a lot of excitement about when we were going to call it. Right. And once we finally got it on fourth down, you know that this is going to be one of those.
One of the best moments in Super Bowl history.
Exactly, history-making moments. So to be a part of it was something special, not only for us, but the fan base.
So let's talk a little bit of football. Obviously, a topic of conversation that we've been seeing from players is this potential 18th game and the ambivalence that you're feeling from players and others. DeMarcus Lawrence told me the other day, look, we're fine with an 18th game as long as the players are paid appropriately for that. Obviously that's not going to impact you, but just from a player's perspective, what do you think about this 18th game?
I think the mentality has changed drastically over the years. I could remember, being in leadership in the player union, and the 17th game was, there was some hard opposition to that, just because of the wear and tear on the body, et cetera. But I think what is starting to be considered from a business standpoint is the longevity of the game, is the ability to add more revenue, and players seeing that as an opportunity to, get more cash. And from a business standpoint, that grows the game. And so, it's one of those things that I think each player has to weigh that themselves. But I think the 18th game is the writing's on the wall. And we know if the league wants something, they see opportunities, they're going to push to get it. And so I think the players need to focus on just making sure with that 18 game that they focus on their health and wellness, that they're compensated, accordingly, and that they think about the long-term ramifications of the individual players who likely, average career is only 3 years.
Right.
So these long-term decisions you're making, affect people for a long while.
Well, especially with huge interest in these international games. Obviously, 9 will be coming next year, but it seems like, at least if you take Robert Kraft at his word, they won an international game every single week. So if you
Yeah.
have 18 games plus international games, that's a lot of travel and wear and tear on these guys.
Yeah, it is a lot, and I think that is, from a player union standpoint, that's something to think about. I know they looked at it last year too. We're looking at what's the data on the traveling? How does that affect players' performance? How does that affect recovery for the next week? And then when you look at that long term, how does that look season over season over season? And so it's not just playing games, right? It's all of the logistics that go along with it, and how does that affect the actual player and their experience?
You're a defensive guy. Seattle has an amazing defense.
Yeah.
Are you excited to sort of see them this weekend? And are you sort of rooting for the defensive team as a defensive player?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite defenses, of all time, was the Seahawks Legion of Boom, and I was a player while they were, going. And this defense is very reminiscent of that. They don't have all the personalities,
Right? Yeah,
but,
true. It's true.
But they play really well as a unit. They're strong tacklers, they're physical, they play with energy, fast,
yeah,
everything you want at every level. And so looking forward to them having a great matchup against the Patriots. See if they can put it together.
And a lot of people say, look, this is not your dad's Patriots. This is a different team now.
It is a different group.
Yeah. Exactly. Going to be amazing to watch, Malcolm. Always great to talk to you. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your continued success.
Appreciate you having me.
And we have a lot more interviews coming your way from Radio Row. Stay with Front Office Sports for more on the business and culture of sports.